Hey guys, Khalid from Cricket Fanatics Magazine here, and we are with episode 11 of the On Lockdown show. So today I've got Wiaan Mulder, and it's been a long time since I've caught up with him and had a chat. He's been so busy, obviously, with the amount of cricket he plays, so it's incredible. So, Wiaan, get to start to the conversation with what are you doing in lockdown at the moment with regards to your cricket, keeping fit, etc.? Have you been given a program with drills, etc., to keep yourself fit?
Yeah, so I've had a back injury obviously this season, so I've worked quite closely with Janine and Andrew Gray, um, who's given me a very nice program to do through the off season,
Mm.
and then this lockdown thing obviously happened, so they sent me like a home program, which is quite cool. It's a lot of bodyweight exercises, isometric exercises, so it's keeping me busy. I must be honest.
Yeah. What kind of things do they give you, like with regard to body weight exercises? I know you.
So what up name? Okay, but anyway, so a lot of it is
No
basic stuff.
problem.
So push-ups, your squats, and then so there's 3 different days. So there's a force day, which is exercise, basically build your strength in the force way, and then there's aerobic, which is running. So I've got a little driveway that I run up and down. So it's about 50 meters, so I can do some up and down shuttles and no long distance running, but yeah, so up and down stuff. And then there's a push day, which is normal push exercises that keeps you going, I guess.
Yeah. And from cricket perspective, I know wicketkeepers tend to like throw balls against the wall and catch it. Fielding exercises you can probably practice in the backyard. But for you as
Yeah.
an all-rounder, I mean, how do you keep cricket sharp in this time, or is it maybe good for you to just may have some low time and just do just fitness training and not cricket training?
Yeah, so I haven't played too much cricket this season, so I've got a
Yeah,
lot like withdrawal symptoms you won't understand. So, I've my little brother stays at home with me, so we've got a nice driver where you can play cricket. So that's as close as you can get to keeping your cricket skills sharp.
yeah,
Um, yeah, like throwing balls against the wall, making sure you can catch stuff like small things just to keep the eyes going. I think is pretty much all we can do during this
yeah.
lockdown time.
Cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So let's go into a little bit more about your career and stuff. And for the guys that don't really know you as well, especially our platform's a new platform, first time coming here. So let's talk a little bit about your journey. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been it was quite a quick transition for you from junior level right up into senior level. It was fast paced. Some people might call it a
Yeah.
meteoric rise in a way. But let's just talk to the beginning, when you got introduced into cricket and how you did, and then just give me a little bit about obviously your junior time and the high school time.
Yeah, so it was a like you say, a very quick transition. Um, it's been a quite a frustrating time as well. I must add that in. I started off at 19 making my ODI debut, and when you're 19 years old and you get the opportunity to play for the Proteas, you don't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah,
Um, and then I've been like struck with injuries. I've had back injuries, I've had ankle injuries, and every time it seems like I play well, and then there's an injury that kicks me back.
sure.
But a lot of the start of my career, getting a chance to play for the Proteas, was being at the right place at the right time. Obviously, the world and specifically South Africa is looking for a Jock Cullis, and at that stage, I think I was the closest one who could bat and bowl.
Mhm.
Um, and that potential was very very raw. Didn't have Was definitely not a finished product, and still not. But at that stage, that was kind of the potential thing that got me into the Proteas, and I had to learn quickly to adapt.
Mhm.
And going back to franchise cricket, I had the opportunity to firstly show that I'm supposed to be there, but also sharpen up the skills that I needed to play for the Proteas. And then, yeah, a year later, I made my Test debut, and yeah, since then, I've pretty much only played about 20 games, I'd say,
Yeah,
due to injury. It's been absolutely terrible, um, but it's part of the whole growth and my personal journey. And it takes back to school. I never had injuries at school.
yeah,
In high school, I played quite a lot of SA under 19 cricket. Um, obviously went to St. Stithians High School where we played about 50 games a year. So you play a lot of cricket, especially at schoolboy level. That's a lot of cricket. And yeah, so it was from playing a lot of cricket, not getting injured, batting and bowling, batting at number three, bowling first chain, sometimes opening the bowling, to Proteas, to just being injured for the last 18
Yeah.
months, pretty much. Um, but yeah, I've come a long way. I wasn't strong enough. I didn't understand my action and how hard I must train. I
Yeah.
tend to overtrain, which was not good at all.
Sure.
That caused a lot of, when you in the game, you're not at 100%, and at practice you kind of have to. I've got quite a, how do you put it, like my personality is I always have to make sure that I'm ready to go into the game, and often
Mhm.
during practice you kind of push yourself because you feel like you have to get ready. But it's also learning that one practice is not going to make the big difference. But yeah, you kind of learn your game as you go,
Yeah.
especially as a young guy. You make a lot of mistakes, and you have to learn as quickly as you can. And sometimes some learnings take longer than others. Like for me, I really need to work smarter, not as hard.
Yeah. So, guys, I know you guys have just joined on now. If you guys have questions for Vian, you can put it in the comment section below, and we will obviously to it later in the interview. I'm just trying to get to know him also a lot more and catch up with it because it's been a long period when we haven't actually chatted. So, Vian, yeah, that's interesting because what you were telling me over there is that's how I saw it. Because especially when you came into the game and I saw you as a junior player playing etc. in Kai Majola Week. I always saw you as a batting all rounder first, and that was how
Yeah,
that's how I saw you. And then when you came into the Proteas scene, they kind of almost, I don't know if they had the thought process that you were more of a bowling all rounder, or if that's what the conversation was with you. But that's how you describe yourself, isn't it? I mean, if I look at your first class record, the centuries, 50s, etc., the wickets that you take, you've always been that
yeah,
person. Instead of 19, even backing up the order. So is that how you see
yeah.
yourself as batting all rounder?
Yeah, so it's been very interesting because when you, as a young guy, you have to kind of just play where they give you an opportunity. Um,
Mm,
and when I got into the Lions, I was batting at number seven,
mm,
where you can still classify it as, I mean, someone like BJ Watling, Quinny is batted number seven for the Proteas, so it's still, you can still classify yourself as a decent batter batting at number seven. And because I've always wanted to keep bowling, and try and give 15, 17 overs a day. So be very handy with the ball, but predominantly bat. You kind of have to take the opportunity you get wherever it is. For the Proteas, for the Lions, it was always batting at about number seven, and you kind of have to work your way down. It has been quite frustrating because often you bat with the tail, so you
yeah.
sometimes give your wicket away or you do something stupid because, like you say, it's a massive learning curve. So you do something stupid and you get out. So the stats don't always um, kind of live up to your potential, which is okay. But it's something, as I grow as a cricketer, I would like to bat obviously in the top five, and I've had that opportunity for the Lions, and I've done relatively well so far, batting at number five for the Lions. So hopefully I can keep growing and bat more and keep bowling. I never want to stop bowling, but because of this back
Yeah.
injury, I might have to find a way around that to maybe limit the bowling, but keep batting and growing my batting. And then when I'm strong enough or my back has stopped growing, um, I can give you that 17 overs a day in a 4 day game.
Yeah, you must actually give me more on that because I saw the injuries came at the worst possible times for you. I mean, you were you were just on the edge of like solidifying your space in the sides, etc. And then the
Yeah,
injury comes, and I mean that must have been for a youngster. That's a lot of learning that other people can learn from. So this maybe give me the mental journey you went on through that period, and some tips to the youngsters that go through similar type of experiences.
yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been incredibly difficult. Um, every time, like I said to you, every time I start playing good cricket, get 100 or take a couple of wickets, and you kind of cement your spot. I get injured,
Mm,
so it's been mentally it's been incredibly hard. I've had a lot of support through Janine Gray and Andrew Gray. They've kept me going through all of this. Morne Morkel has helped me so much, and just understanding that this is part of the journey. Passing on what he's been through. He's and Dale Steyn. They've also kind of passed on that how difficult it's been for them over the last while, because they both trained with Janine, and Morna actually took me to Janine, and he said, "Listen, this is the best in the business. She's gonna help you out." And Andrew's obviously an incredible trainer, so they've helped me get stronger and understanding what's going on with my body and why I'm getting injured. But I do encourage, to be honest, if there's something I've learned out of all of these injuries, is you need to find a way or people around you who's going to firstly support you, but also carry you through the tough times, because there's so many tough times. And if it wasn't for my family, I don't know where I'd be mentally. And also I've started to study, so kind of has helped me to see that there's a lot more than cricket in this world, and that I'm a little bit more than cricket, because often you get trapped. If you play for the Proteas, that's what life's about, is playing for the Proteas, winning games, and never leaving that space. But at some stage it's going to end, regardless of how much money you have. At some stage you're going to have to keep yourself and your mind busy and happy. So there's kind of the learnings I've taken out of this injury. And it's definitely not easy. No, there's nobody you can say he's been through this journey with all the injuries and it's been easy. I've recently read something on Pat Cummins, where he explains how difficult it's been for him. He made his debut at 18, and then at 24 played his next game. So that was like a 6-year gap of not playing any cricket for Australia, and he's one of the best in the world. So he kind of inspires me and motivates me to just keep pushing. It will get better at some stage.
Yeah, that's really true. And like there's another guy, I don't know if you've spoken to him yet or had a chance to, but there's another guy called Marco Janssen that's really making it through the system quickly as well. Those are guys that I think can learn from your journey, etc. And because of the quick rise that you made and the quick rise they're making, just to step back. There's certain guys that obviously say they prefer to go for them at a slower rate and not as quickly. But you can't control that. That depends on who wants you and who wants to play you. But with you, regards to obviously some of the Proteas guys you mentioned, Dale Steyn, Mona over there, that have given you some tips, etc. But what sort of conversations have you had with some of the Proteas guys, and in the current setup, etc., or in previous setups, who are the guys that you look up to?
Well, I obviously work quite closely with Morne, mostly during the MSL. When I started being around the test team, I was with Morne a lot. That was his last series, which was the Australian series. And then Dale, I've been training with him because he's with Janine. But when I started at the Proteas, it's obviously quite difficult. You as a young guy, you want to make a massive impact, and you're always looking for answers. And when I was there, JP Duminy made it incredibly easy for me to settle, and took a lot of the anxiousness away, I'd say. Just through his calm words. He always is looking to help the young guys. And he's a massive team man, so he helped me massively in just understanding where I'm going, understanding that there's a lot more than cricket, and also how to manage what's going on in the cricket field. So JP is one of the people that really inspired me, and also he's an incredible family man. He loves his wife, his 2 kids really a lot. So he's just inspires me in all facets of life. So yeah, I'd say JP. Does that answer your question?
Cool. Of course it does, yes. So with regard to the Lions now going forward, a lot of new guys coming into your team again, and it's fresh, young side again. You guys are making a transition phase. You've got guys like obviously Rassi in that team that's an incredible person, an incredible human being, incredible athlete. You've got guys like Lisa Hendrick to learn from. Now you've got new guys like Lutus Pamela coming in there, and great extra assets. Are you guys and the new coach, of course? We've had a few conversations with him. He's a very driven person, and his mentality is unbelievable. Tell me about the new coach, the new players that are coming in, and what you guys are aspiring to obviously win trophies again. But what keeps you guys so motivated to win and so successful consistently?
Coach Wandy, I'll start with Coach Wandy. I've worked with him quite a bit from under 19 days, and he's incredibly driven, as you've said. He's got this real lion mentality. It's either survive or die, and it's more like he wants to win every game, regardless of where we are. It's always having that belief that we can come out on top. And the Lions, out of all the environments I've been in, the Lions is by far the hardest working system I've ever been involved with. There's always a coach trying to throw. There's always a coach trying to help. Even the video analyst, everybody just helps out when it comes to what the players need. And I think that's a massive part done so well recently. Um, it came from Enoch's days, and Wandile has kind of taken it his own way, but encouraged us to keep working as hard. As a team, the hardest out of all the teams. And that's why I believe we've done so well, and we're always competing, regardless of who we're playing. We're always competing, and we've got really good senior players. Rassi, Temba, Dwayne, Buren, Reza, Bjorn at this stage. Those guys kind of carry the team, and they're always so motivated to win, to make a massive impact in every single game. They take responsibility. And I think as a team, that's what we kind of strive for, is for people to stand up and take responsibility, no matter what the situation is. Try and find a way to win, always believing, but also being a family. That's kind of cliche, the family of, everyone has to be close, but there's so many guys with differences. I mean, I'm completely different to Dom. I'm completely different to Dwayne. And I think that's what makes the team dynamic so powerful, is that everybody is different and they've got different things to contribute. And as the Lions, we try and get the best out of every player, regardless if we get along or if we don't get along. It doesn't really matter. And that's why I believe we've done so well recently and always competing.
So I'm going to ask you a little bit more about those guys in your side. The guys that I've met and I know, like I've met personally, or what they actually are like in the dressing room and their roles in the team. I know Bjorn is quite a competitive guy. He hates losing. I've seen it. He gets really upset with himself. He has a very high standards. A guy like Dwayne Pretorius is he's competitive, yes, and very hardworking, but he's a lot more laid. I feel like back off the field, like very chilled, very calm and collected.
Yeah.
But I know I've heard from guys like Delano Potgieter who told me like they've looked up to guys like Dwayne Pretorius because of the way he works and the work ethic he puts in. A guy like Russ. A guy like Rassi comes across like that too, never giving up, being very loyal, etc. So tell me about these guys. What are they like in the side? And guy like Akiso Rabada, of course, when you guys do get to play, obviously when Australians too. Tell me about you guys and what makes them champion players.
Well, I'd say someone like Rassi, obviously work ethic, but I feel like the difference between all those guys and someone like me is those guys are incredibly smart, and they know what they and smart in terms of training. They know what they have to do. As a young guy, you never really know yet. You try and figure it out as soon as possible, but those guys lead you really well, and Dwayne has really always taken me under his wing, and said, listen, you need to figure out how to work smart. Find your way, because my way and your way is always going to be different, but find your way. And that's what makes someone like Dwayne a champion at what he does. People have a lot to kind of always talk about Quinny and the amount of talent he has and all that stuff, but it's still finding a way to work smart, and that's what Dwayne does so well. If you look at the way he plays, probably one of the most economical bowlers in the last 5 years in any first-class system. He strikes, he takes wickets, but he's someone similar to Vern. They've kind of worked out their game. Rassi works incredibly hard, but really smart. Reza works incredibly hard, but really smart. Same as Bjorn. I feel Bjorn has a lot of X factor because of his competitiveness. He reminds me a lot of AB when it comes to that. They don't understand loss. They don't understand losing. It's all about winning. That's it. And if they lose, that doesn't affect them. They only focused on winning. And that's what makes Bjorn, I feel, for somebody that doesn't necessarily turn the ball. He bowls in swingers, and he'll tell you that as well. Left arm in swing, he doesn't miss the mark. He's incredibly competitive, and he's just got this X factor, but also this instinct that he knows exactly what the bat is going to do.
Yeah.
And that's similar to what Rassi has become over the years. He knows where the bowler is going to bowl, and he knows it's about him executing and the bowler missing.
Yeah, Bjorn's probably gonna have a go at me after this because I say this, but his competitiveness goes beyond just cricket and the sport. I mean, even in FIFA, for example, if he's playing a game.
Yes,
Really?
competitive. But as competitive as he is, he's also very, very laid back away from cricket.
Yeah.
So when he's competing with somebody or something, he's always gonna come out on top, I feel. But he's very relaxed. Nothing really phases him. He's not somebody that's very money orientated or driven. I've always felt he's a lot more about improving himself and he knows it's at some stage money will come. And I think that's what's made him so successful. He's not driven by the material things. He just wants to dominate cricket.
Yeah.
And he's motivated me a lot when it comes to understanding how to win and understanding and reading players. I don't even think he knows that, but that's what he's really had a big impact on my short career.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, let's get into some off the field type of questions.
Okay.
Yeah, so in lockdown, besides the training, besides the cricket, what else do you get up to? What is some of the hobbies you like to get up to, etc.? What have you been doing?
Yeah, so I've been reading a lot. I've been playing a lot of PlayStation, which is not good, but I have been. And I've got a little puppy, a little Staffy. I don't know if you'll be able to see. But there she is.
What's her name?
Yeah, her name is Olive. I call her Ollie. She's an unbelievable puppy. She's so intelligent, but she's kept me really busy. Because if she's not busy with something, she's either destroying something, and if she's not in front of me, she's weeing or doing something in the house that she's not supposed to. So she takes a lot of attention. But yeah, so I've been training, I've been reading, I've got the book I've been reading, so I don't know if you can see.
Cool.
A book by Robin Sharma. It's called Discover Your Destiny. I've read a couple of his books. I've read 5 a.m. Club, The Man Who Sold His Ferrari, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and this is the third one. I love his books. I think he's incredibly motivating, and I just can't put this book down. So it's been really awesome having some time to myself, and I can actually personally play PlayStation because my girlfriend hates it, but I have to find some time. So I've been playing with Dom. I don't know if anyone knows the game called Apex Legends. It's an online free game, so it's unbelievable. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
I'm gonna download and go find you guys online now.
Yeah, you must. It's incredible. We've been playing.
Yeah, I've been playing. I just recently got the new Call of Duty Warzone. So
it's good. Difficult, but good.
So it's awesome. But like that and Fortnite, of course, FIFA are the new ones. But I'm gonna try to find that one and download it. Let's get into some of the fan questions, and I'll throw one or two of my own ones in between. So let's start with your buddy Michael. You want to know, how do you survive without exuberant amounts of sushi?
That's my favorite meal in the world, sushi. I don't know how I do it. I've been trying to find replacements, but I mean, when this lockdown's over, I'm gonna absolutely destroy Active Sushi, or we've got a place called Rejoice. Incredible.
Yeah,
Mikey actually introduced me to sushi when I was under 19.
Who introduced him?
Michael Cohen introduced me to sushi when we were 19. We were in Cape Town on an under 19 tour, and he introduced me. I never used to eat it. Afrikaans kid, we only eat bread, meat, some butternut. That's it. He introduced me to the real life.
Yeah, I only eat the prawn one. The problem, I need to move over into the salmon and stuff. I only eat the prawn sushis at the moment.
Yeah. A lot of people actually don't eat the raw stuff, so they only eat like tempura prawn and stuff. I feel that the salmon is good, but anyway.
Okay, I must try that salmon more often.
Give it a go.
Yeah. So we've got another one from Daniel. This is something that you've touched on earlier on, but you can maybe answer for him. Do you see yourself developing in a specialist batsman role in top 6, Or do you want to play South Africa as the general all-rounder, i.e. bat seven, and be the fifth bowling option?
Well, I never want to stop bowling. I absolutely love bowling, and I feel like if I bat and bowl, I perform a lot better than if I just bat or just bowl. Um, so I would love to be able to still bat in the top six, but be able to be still a fifth bowling option. Um, something if all of us are different, all cricketers are different, but if I can bat at even number five and be able to give you 15 overs in the game, then you competing with the best in the world. So that's what I would love to grow into and become. But at this stage, I just want to play cricket and kind of just develop my game as I go, and eventually at 25, 26, be able to demand a spot like that in the national team or pretty much any team I play in.
It's amazing that you're still so young, man, and you speak with such maturity. Like I look at it and I'm like, yes, so 22 years old and you speak like I mean you still have like another 3 years for you to develop. Flip. So we got another one here from Prasad. He wants to know, who is your idol?
Well, my all-time idol is obviously being an all-rounder, being Jock Cullis. But I look up to someone like Shane Watson, who's been through a lot of injuries as well, and I can kind of relate at this stage. I haven't even touched a fraction of his injuries, but just understanding what he's been through, and top and absolutely dominate. Someone like Shane Watson is definitely up there. And then having played with AB de Villiers during the MSL, just the
Yeah.
way he goes about his game, I don't think anyone can't look up to him and see him as an idol. So I'd say those three guys stand out straight away. But also someone like Mornay, he's just the person he is, JP, the person they are. Um, I've got plenty of idols. I can't really pinpoint one, but that'll be my top five.
Yeah, awesome guys. Like I'll never forget Mornay's last press conference. It was so emotional, and I was sitting in the front row,
Yeah,
and he was told us that he's going
unbelievable
to
team, man.
retire. Wow, man, unbelievable guy, really. Okay, so maybe a question from me. Who are some of your best mates in the team that you have currently? Some of the guys that you spend a lot of time off the field with, etc. And yeah,
Yeah. So when I just started at the Lions, Dom Hendricks was there with me. He played for a couple of years before that already, and just like what he brings to the team, I kind of glued to him straight away. Unbelievable team man, really good friend to have. Um, he's one of those guys. If I had 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm in trouble, I'd call Dom.
yeah,
He'll always come and help out. So I would
cool.
definitely say Dom. I kind of stuck to him. Um, yeah, Dom, Wiaan Mulder, Michael Pretorius. I don't have really have issues with anyone. I get along with most players, but those are the guys that I'd say stand out.
I'm gonna see if I can get Dom on here to maybe chat with you. Just throw you a little bit of a curveball or two. A little later.
Okay.
I'm just gonna just try to get you one more question from a fan. It's another one from Daniel. How tough was it to bat in India compared to our local wickets?
Yeah, I think India. It's not always the wickets that dominate you. It's the whole experience. I'd say. India is obviously a lot different to South Africa, where it's a lot more rural. I'd say. Obviously, there's buildings and there's shops and there's the restaurants, all this basic stuff. Um, but it's incredibly hot. It's humid. The people when you're there are quite loud and they're in your face. And playing cricket in India, you're always playing against superstars because they've got so many players that can qualify or that's good enough to play for any national side around the world that you're always running into somebody that's incredibly good. Um, like, for example, we played against Kuldeep Yadav, Umesh Yadav, um, Karun Nair, um, Mohammad Siraj, uh, Rishabh Pant. All these guys are incredible cricketers and they're in and out of the national side. And then you go and compete with them at A side level, where often we've got guys who haven't played international cricket. Um, but the wickets in India are difficult. They do spin. I've never felt that the wickets I've played on in India was braggers because they always want to compete and when they love scoring runs, the Indians. They want to score 200 in every inning. So they generally have decent fair wickets, but they do spin most of the time from day one. Doesn't get too much worse, but I'd say more it's the whole experience that is so draining. When you get to the hotel at night, you don't even want to eat. You just want to go to bed. And that's what makes India. And having played in Bangladesh, it's the same thing. It's just draining. You take serious shots. Yeah.
I mean, did you manage to ever speak to like Virat and have a chat with him ever?
No, unfortunately not. I would have loved to. I was. I have been. I think I've played. I haven't played against him, but I've been in a team when South Africa has played against him. And to be honest, you're a little bit starstruck, so you don't necessarily go out of your way to go and chat to someone like him. But on the other side, if I would ever have the opportunity, I would love to just pick his brain a little bit, because I think that's one of the most competitive, developed cricketing brains in the world at the moment.
Cool. Okay, so we managed to get hold of Dom, and I'm gonna see. It's the first time I'm doing this, adding someone else to the stream. So wow. Okay, cool. There we go, guys. Dom,
Hey guys, how's it?
how's it
I'm
been?
good, thanks, and you?
He's done
Good
one.
to see you.
It's coming.
So this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's gonna be quite interesting. I want you to throw some curveballs here at Vian. Maybe ask him a few questions there too. Have you been watching the stream?
Yes, I have actually.
It's interesting. He's been saying that you maybe have a few words to ask him about.
Yeah, I'd actually like to ask you one question. So he was, and I recall this day very fondly. The first time I met him, he came straight from school in his school uniform to the Lions, and I thought, what the hell going on here? Here's this kid in his school uniform rocking up to practice. So I actually wanted to find out what was the first day like being with the Lions.
Yeah, my first day was very nerve-wracking. Being a young kid, I was always quite worried about my whole how do you say it, persona, what you come across to other people. And as a young kid, I was obviously quite a fat kid, so you're always worried about what the people are going to say and what Dom at that stage did say. I think that's kind of why he's throwing the curveball at me. But yeah, it was interesting times. A lot of learning happened in my first year at the Lions. I improved massively as a person and as a cricketer. So yeah, it was very nerve-wracking. I was very anxious. I just wanted to move everyone to kind of show them I'm good enough, you know. So yeah.
Guys, to the both of you, there's another question here that came up. In the Lions squad, who has the worst fashion sense?
Oh my word. The worst fashion sense, he's not going to like me for doing this, but I'd probably say Wiaan Mulder.
Yeah,
he's not somebody that he's not somebody that really cares about that type of thing. So I definitely put him up there. He's going to kill me for that, but yeah, I'd say Wiaan Mulder.
So Dom, I want to ask you more about Wiaan. Like you mentioned when you first saw him, but now that you've seen him develop as a cricketer, obviously with the time that you spent with him, what stands out to you the most about him as a player?
Geez, I think he's got a lot of X factor, and I don't think he realizes it. Like a lot of players that actually have it don't realize that they do. But just his knack to actually win games with a bat and with a ball. I mean, I think it was his second game that he played for us. He took a fifer, and then the very next game he got and scores 100. And just like standing out like that, like in his first handful of games, playing for the Lions and playing at franchise cricket was just unbelievable to actually see. Like he was a kid straight out of school and not being starstruck by the occasion of playing franchise cricket in South Africa was like pretty much the best that there are.
Yeah, because I mean, I want to ask you guys about the level of cricket in South Africa, of course, because a lot of people speak about the level of domestic cricket, etc. And I believe that and I've heard it from some international guys as well that said that South African wickets are actually the hardest wickets to play on. What is your interpretation of the standard of cricket, and how do we improve it in this country at the moment? So you can start with Wiaan, and then we can move on to Don.
Yeah, well, South Africa, you kind of have two sides of the plate where you get really quick wickets, Centurion, the Wanderers, and then you go coastal and you get quite slow wickets. The balance of
Yeah.
the difference between slow wickets, spinning wickets, and also quick bouncy wickets. So I think overall South Africa can be really challenging. I found it definitely one of the most challenging places to bat. If you take how much the ball swings out of it, just the simple wickets itself, I'd say those are the things that stand out straight away and makes it difficult for pretty much any team that comes here, because you can get a situation that you're not used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like obviously being opening the batting at the top of the order, it is definitely one of the hardest places to play in the world. I mean, the ball's always doing something wherever you go. But again, like Wiaan said, I think just always having to adjust to the nature of the wicket. So from the high felt where it's a bit quicker and a bit more bounce to going to the coast, it makes it really, really difficult. And I mean, one day you could be playing on a slow one in Port Elizabeth, and then the next week you got the Wonders where it's flying past your ears. So just adapting to that is possibly the hardest thing about playing cricket in South Africa.
Cool. Now there's another question over here from another fan of ours, but Wiaan, you'll know this because obviously you played with him at the World Cup, etc. And Tony Lazosi, he's mentioned you in my interview with him. He mentioned your name as well. So, what is your take on Tony? Obviously, Dom as a opening batter, batting up the order, of course. More often, you are kind of in competition with him as well. Tony, you would have played against him a lot. What is your take on him and what do you think of him as a player?
I think Tony is an incredible talent. Playing with him under 19, and also playing with him at MSL and playing against him quite a lot. The shots he plays are often quite ridiculous. And if I don't know if you've watched any of his recent cricket, but he also has this knack of scoring very big runs. I think in the beginning of his career he struggled a little bit consistently, but at this time in his career, he's actually dominating. He's kind of found a way to take away a lot of those low scores and make them into 50s. And he got a couple of hundreds this year. So he just plays incredible shots. He's hard to get out, pretty much well balanced. So you can't really say there's a very big weakness in his technique. But overall, he's just got this knack of scoring runs. And at the moment, he's kind of showing that. And that's exactly what he did under 19. And I think now he's coming into that level at franchise cricket.
Yeah. Don?
Yeah, I actually like the look of him. The first time I played against him, I think he was also straight out of school, probably first year out of school, and here he is making his debut against us at Centurion. And to look at how he's developed over like the past couple of years, it's worlds apart. I mean, the kid has learned so much over the past couple of years that he's played franchise cricket, and I definitely think he's got some good potential. I mean, like Wiaan said, he's played some extraordinary shots. Like I think they went on a tour. The Titans went on a tour to the UAE, and he was reverse sweeping guys for sixes there for fun. I think he scored 100 in that T20 game. And I thought, wow, this kid can actually play. Like, and just seeing the scores that he's actually, like Wiaan said, just put out this season has been incredible to see. So I think it's definitely one to look out for the future.
Yeah, and another one for you, Dom, actually, because this one you'll be able to resonate too. I know that Wiaan will also be able to give a little bit on it, but we're going to have him later on in the week as well on lockdown with him. Jeff Toyana. President wants to know, how is Jeff Toyana as a coach?
I was lucky enough to actually have him
I
since
really enjoyed
under 19 cricket. So yeah, he's been actually, he played a massive role in my career. Where I was straight out of under 19 cricket, where I worked with him, and then he became assistant coach of the Lions, and then took over the head coach. I mean, the backing that he gave me as a young kid, like I really didn't have to worry about anything. He just said, "Go out and play, don't worry about anything, and you just go out and do you." And I mean, the calm that he actually brings to you to actually go out and execute your skills that you've been working on the whole week was actually phenomenal. So I've got a lot of time for Jeff.
And Wiaan?
Yeah, I can pretty much resonate what Dom is saying, with what Dom is saying. When I started at the Lions, I never doubted anything, and that was a lot to do with Jeff. He always showed this massive confidence in me, and he pretty much wasn't shy to, listen, you're good enough to go and do it now. Back yourself. And also, he's one of the hardest working coaches. He used to throw a lot of balls. He always made time for you. And I think that's why he had so much success in his career. I think to the end of his career, there were a lot of factors fighting against him. So I would never judge him on how that ended, but more on how successful he was the other 4 years of his career. And I think if you ask any player, they would definitely say that Jeff is one of the most comforting coaches in terms of how he makes you feel when you're playing. Not a really aggressive guy, not somebody who's really going to go out of his way to make sure that you know you did something wrong. He kind of allows you to learn, and I think that was one of his strengths as a coach.
So, Dom, I'm going to ask you one more question before I just continue with Wiaan. And so
Sure.
I just want to ask you about being a senior player in the side, and then you see a guy like Wiaan coming into the system. Can you give me some insight into how you as a senior learn from the juniors that actually, and learn from them and the way they play, etc., and from their habits, etc.? So, yeah, how do you as a senior player learn those things from youngsters?
Yeah, I think because I've played a lot, like just it's a breath of fresh air to sometimes see like a young kid like Wiaan come in and just play without any fear at all. Like a lot of times you are you're a bit scared to sort of play sometimes, and you get a bit insecure from time to time, and then you just watch someone like him, or like for example this season like a Josh Richards just comes in and just plays, doesn't think about it too much, and just goes out there, goes out and plays, and doesn't really worry about anything. I mean, I'm always learning from them as much as they are learning from the rest of us. I'm always learning from pretty much everybody that I play with or sort of play against. And yeah, the young generation, they aren't scared of anything these days. They're like, oh, who's this guy? Okay, I'm gonna take him on now. And I'm just like, okay, good, go for it then. So I think that's just probably the biggest thing that I've learned from them is that they're not scared of anything, and neither should we as senior players. So yeah, just always trying to learn from them too.
You back yourself against him in the net to smash him out the ground?
Yeah, of course. The half the problem is he never steps behind the line though, so he's always bowling off 15 yards.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Excuses, excuses.
Thanks a lot, Tom,
God,
for tuning in, your real sport, for coming on. I'll chat
No,
to you
no,
again some.
absolute pleasure.
No problem,
Okay,
man.
cheers,
Thanks,
guys.
man. You
cheers,
great
Dom.
guy, man. Thanks for that, Wiaan. That was awesome. I'm
No,
gonna continue with the
pleasure.
fan questions before we should sign off. Use another one from Dan. Dan's quite eager here. We had a superstition you've seen in the changing room. Like, let's go Proteas and then let's go Lions.
Um, there isn't actually many superstitions around. The guys are pretty chilled. I know a lot of guys would prefer to like put the left shoe on first and like always get dressed on the left hand side. So left shoe, left pad, and then the thigh pad and everything on the left hand side first. I'm not very observant when it comes to that type of thing. But I've heard so many stories about Neil McKenzie, how he would put all the toilet seats down and strap his back to the roof. And yeah, so I heard this one story. I don't know how true it is, but they were saying they were playing at some ground, and he was playing for the Proteas, and the bathroom is downstairs from where you exit to go to the field. And before he went into bat, so the wicket fell, and he had to run down to the bathroom first to make sure all the seats are down before he could go out to bat. So I think that's like one of the hectiest superstitions I've seen out there, and what I've heard of. I'm not very observant when it comes to that stuff, like I said, but that one is definitely one that I'd say stands out.
You don't have any superstitions, do you?
Not really. I try and stay away from that stuff because I feel that can limit you. So if you go out there mentally, you haven't done your superstition, then you're not going to score runs. For me, there's enough fighting against me already, so I try and stay away from that. But I often put on my left hand stuff first. It just feels comfortable. So like I said, left shoe, and then left pad, um, left sock, that type of thing.
Cool. Well, last question from Emily Norris. She wants to know who's the funniest guy in the Lions team.
Definitely, I'd say John Tirapulana, Kagiso Rapulana. He's just he's got an unbelievable sense of humor. So he's just always looking for somebody to make smile. He's a really happy guy, even when things are not going for him. He's an incredible team man, and he will always make you laugh and find a way to make somebody laugh in the team. And he saves a lot of explosions, and just through his humor and like on the soccer field, he's incredibly good at soccer, so his skill level is through the roof. So he often creates a lot of humor with the type of things he does on the soccer field and how he mocks players and that type of thing. But it's all banter, and I think he'll definitely stand out as the funniest guy in the Lions.
Thank you, Wiaan. So, this lastly, I just want you to give a short message to the cricket fanatics fans out there, and yeah, just a word of thanks to them, and maybe you can leave them with one word of advice going forward.
Yeah, well, first I'd say thank you very much for this page. It's incredible to see what work you guys are doing. Getting the public to know professional players is I think really important, and they must see that there's a lot more to cricketers than just cricket. Um, yeah, so I'd say thank you very much to the Sports Fanatics page and Cricket Fanatics page, and for all the work you're doing. Um, and if I had to give a word of encouragement, is never give up. Always believe in your skill, and don't let people put a limit on you, because people don't really know what you're about. So don't let people put a limit on you.
Well, we can't. We have to sign off with this question because I mean he's come online now and he's asked advice. He needs your support. Wiaan Mulder, as my air clothing sponsor,
Oh wow!
to improve my fashion sense.
Oh gosh! Thanks for that one, Pete. No, I'll organize so that we can take you to New Balance V and we can sort you out. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, talk to me about him because I mean, unbelievable guy, unbelievable cricketer. You guys are gonna now lose him out. Um,
Yeah.
I think a massive loss to the team. How do you guys feel about losing him now to opposition?
Yeah, so I get along with Wiaan very well. He's an incredible cricketer, and I mean, I think people haven't even seen the best of his bowling. Everyone just sees him as a batter, and I feel he's got so much X factor as a batter. And if you can get him in there to bowl a couple of overs, it just would just add to that. And he's believe it or not, but he's one of the quickest guys in the team. So we're really going to miss him in the field. He's got incredible hands, really fast to the ball, incredible arm. So I think as a package, we're really going to miss Libba. It's going to be good, but not good to play against him. Good because I'd say I know all his weaknesses, but not good because there are not many of them. But it's going to be really good for his career. I think he's made a really good move, and he will make massive strides at the Warriors. A massive loss for us. I feel like he's going into the prime of his career now. He's playing incredible cricket. And it's really sad that we've lost him at this stage, but I mean, it's his career, and as long as he's going up and pushing for a spot in the Proteas, what can anybody really say? So I'd say I'll take him to New Balance and I'll help him out, but other than that, don't score too many runs against the Lions.
Thanks a lot, Wiaan. This is an awesome conversation. I'm looking forward to catching up with you again.
Quality. Thank you very much.
No problem, brother.
All righty.